As I was saying, I was trying to get the word Raul Labrador out of my mouth earlier and somehow swallowed some marbles while I was doing it. He was on one of the network news shows yesterday. These Republicans are learning to give it back to folks in media. I should point that out. If we get an opportunity, I'll share some of the things that transpired while he was being interviewed on one of the old alphabet news networks. Well, it was CNN, so it's not one of the oldest, but he was being interviewed, and he pretty much came right out and said, looking at the whole story, which you're not doing, and the reporter was like, hemina, 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 hemina. 823, Bill Colley with you on Top Story on News Radio 1310, KLIX, and newsradio1310.com. Some of us had the marbles in our mouths, but some of you are probably more concerned about what you're actually hearing. And that's why we've been advising you get in touch with Dr. Christine Pickup, a doctor of audiology, and she's at Mount Harrison Audiology in Rupert. They have a website called MountHarrisonAudiology.com. You can learn a lot more there. Also, you can give them a telephone call at 208-312-0957. And her office is located at 1218 9th Street in Unit 2. And if you're on medication for high blood pressure or a diuretic, you need to hear this as well. These medications can affect your hearing. Hearing health is a reflection of your overall health. When you come in for a free wellness hearing screening at Mount Harrison Audiology, Dr. Pickup will review your medications and also discuss ways to protect your hearing in the future. So Raul Labrador makes this appearance yesterday. All the networks were trying to bring in some members of this Freedom Caucus, the conservatives, who have pretty much upset the apple cart in the House of Representatives, and they were trying to pair them with someone, more of the moderate Republicans that they like, and to try to, pick a fight between the two. But Labrador was asked about a comment that had been made by a member of the Benghazi committee staff. That is the committee that is chaired by a congressman by the name of Trey Gowdy from South Carolina, that has been looking into Hillary Clinton's involvement with that. Although, as Gowdy said last week, Hillary Clinton's been a tiny little focus of all of that. But a former staffer has said, well, yeah, it is a political investigation, and media has seized on this, saying that it's just Republicans out to embarrass Hillary. And this was the response from Idaho's Raul Labrador.
Investigation is political. What do you make of it?
Let's be clear what he said. He said the investigation turned political according to his opinion. And when he was asked specifically if the investigation was political, he said no. He said, in fact, that the investigation started properly, that they were investigating what happened in Benghazi, and that he felt that it had changed. So let's not mix this up, because...
But regardless, he's saying that the reason why he was upset is because it turned political.
Yeah, but
no matter where
he just had a disagreement with the people who were doing the investigation. Remember what Watergate started with an investigation about whether the Richard Nixon administration actually had anything to do with the break-in at Watergate. It ended up being about some missing tapes.
So you think it's okay to have turned...
No, I don't think it. Well, that's what they found out. They've been asking questions about what Hillary Clinton did. They asked her for her emails. She wouldn't deliver the emails, and they didn't know why they didn't deliver the emails. They didn't know if there was a smoking gun in there or anything, so they turned their attention to that. And in fact, the only reason there's any politics or we even have an investigation is because the Obama administration and Hillary Clinton decided a few months before an election that they were going to lie about what happened at Benghazi.
Yeah, remember, it's about the film, as Chris Matthews said during a debate with Mitt Romney, and shut Romney down on this. And it wasn't about the film, if you remember. No one knew about the film. And then when it was promoted that it was the film, there were riots all over the world and people died. But what's the death of a few Pakistanis so that Mr. Obama can get reelected? Oh, that's right. He cares about people all over the world, except those people that got killed. He cares more about himself, I guess is the way to put that. Here's a question for you. Let's say it is a political investigation. Does it make it wrong? Now, there's a question for your friends in media. Does it make it wrong? Because it could be it's political, but it could also be that they're getting to the bottom of a serious crime that took place here, or at least not a crime, a dereliction of duty by the Secretary of State and the President of the United States. So that would be political, but it would also be, if it's true, we would want to get to the bottom of that. So, political or not, fact of the matter is, something happened there, and something happened that was wrong. Also wanted to point out, Labrador continues to back Daniel Webster of Florida for Speaker of the House. He was pressed on whether he would accept other people, including Paul Ryan of Wisconsin.
But we have endorsed Daniel Webster, and until somebody's a declared candidate, we're not going to move to a new candidate. Now, if new candidates declare themselves, then we're going to ask them to come talk to the House Freedom Caucus, because it's not about the who. It's about the what. What are we going to do in the House to change the culture? What are we going to do so we can get 247 Republicans together on the same page? What are we going to do so every member of the conference feels like they're actually valuable and they're doing the things that they need to do?
That is Congressman Raul Labrador from northern Idaho, speaking during a conversation on CNN yesterday to what I would call a very hostile reporter who was sitting across the desk from him. If you're one of the Rhino-approved Republicans who appears on these shows, you get treated very, very well. 828, Bill Colley with you on Top Story on News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com. And you're up next. You're on the air.
Yes, yesterday I was watching PBS in Idaho, and the Brain Trust, they were so stellar. And they were talking about how Simpson and Labrador don't speak. Well, in some respects, they're polar opposites. Labrador truly is a conservative, I believe, down to his core. Simpson is a I don't know for sure what the hell he is, but there's things he does that have helped trade to a point. But when it comes to the EPA and controlling them, or trying to help people to encourage management of the forest and grazing, he's lost in the trees. So, but you see, we sit here and we listen to these talking heads, and we assume that somehow they are going to give us the fair shot. My dad used to read the paper and think it was fair, and well, maybe back then it was the Times News. What a laugh! But you see, in the end, our country's future is at risk here, people. And if you don't go out and learn for yourself, you may not like what I say. Maybe you think I'm off my rocker. But I study and I know my stuff.
Hey, gotta let you go on that point. Got a hard break coming up. I hope people will take that into account. People are aware of what's going on.